Front page news. Good evening, Mark. It's Monday, March 1st. So yesterday was the final mission here on campus for Humans vs. Zombies. And just so you know, no, I was not home this past weekend. I will be home this weekend, which is what I had meant when I said last week. Sometime that I'll be home next weekend. So you better not be busy. Anyway, yesterday at 1 o'clock, all the humans that were left in the game were supposed to check in and then meet at Hume Field. What they had to do was hold Hume Field for an hour, and if there are any humans left, then the humans won, and if there weren't, then the zombies won. And sometime around 1:30 or 1:40-ish, like, the last human was tagged, and it was really awesome because I don't have a lot for you today. Actually, that's a lie. I was reading the newspaper today. On the front page was an article about the Clean Water Act, and it's going through some changes at the moment. The wording in the original Clean Water Act that was passed in 1972 includes a prohibition of dumping waste into navigable waters, which, one, is pretty ambiguous, and two, because of its ambiguity, leaves some waters unprotected. And because of this ambiguity, about 45% of the major polluters are outside the reach of regulation. Now, a Senate committee has already approved what has been called the Clean Water Restoration Act, which aims to restore the effectiveness of the Clean Water Act. And there are some groups, such as the American Farm Bureau Association and the National Association of Home Builders, that are against the passing of the Clean Water Restoration Act. One member of the opposition claims that by removing the word navigable from the law, it removes any sort of limitation on what is under the government's control. Alright, so maybe the government will have a little more say in this matters, but not even really, because they just want to bring the act back to its original effectiveness from when it was passed, like before various court decisions like interpreted it differently and weakened its scope. I mean, the issue with this is not so much the question of which waterways are going to be protected by the law or not, but like, what does the opposition think makes it okay to pollute our waters? Does it not register them that this water like goes into our bodies and supports our environment and is going to be around for like ever? Think about it. The same water that we use today is the same water that was around when dinosaurs walked the earth. The same water. And companies are trying to find loopholes in the law that allow them to keep polluting, and the new act is trying to like close those loopholes and clear up all this gray area and how the law should be interpreted to protect our water. And why would anybody be opposed to that? In other news, I was going to say that Togepi was my favorite Pokemon out of the original 152, but Togepi is actually number 175. That's not going to stop me from talking about it anyway. Here's the thing I like about Togepi. It's that it takes positive energy from like others, like its surroundings, and then releases it again when people need it. Well, not necessarily people, but like releases it when that positive energy is needed. And pretty much every Pokédex entry for Togepi says that its shell is filled with happiness. Its shell is filled with happiness. Why would I not want to be a Togepi? And like I said, Togepi stores that happiness and then shares it with others, which I think at this moment in time is something that we all need. I'm really sorry to hear about the death of Mrs. Fordham, and I'll make sure to keep her family in my thoughts and prayers. And so, Mark, your topic for tomorrow is, when life sucks majorly, what brings you hope? It'll be good to think about, well, anytime you're down, and especially now in the light of this loss. I'll see you tomorrow.